Hello everyone, this is Lewis the Librarian. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. This video is inspired by a story that I heard from a good friend of mine who happens to be a law enforcement officer. First, let me preface that by saying that I respect everyone's right to protest peacefully, and I sympathize with George Floyd's family and what they are going through. And at the same time, I have a tremendous amount of respect for law enforcement, mainly because my stepfather, my brother, and my best friend, they all served in law enforcement honorably. And there's nothing more scary for a family, I imagine, on either side, than hoping and praying that your loved one comes home safely. So, getting back to the story that I heard, he has a fellow friend who's in law enforcement in New York. And I was told that the situation and on how COVID-19 has been affecting everybody. Before all this happened, he said there would be an average of maybe about 3 people a month that were committing suicide. And whereas now it's more like 6 people a week. And I just felt like I wanted to do something to help. And it was because I guess a lot of these people are not able to find work. They're not able to pay their bills, not able to take care of their family. I can empathize from the point of view is that it was only a few months ago where I had two part-time jobs. And when COVID-19 affected pretty much everybody. I lost both of those jobs, and both of those companies closed down, or at least until further notice. And it's terrifying because I'm married, I have a wife, I have bills, and I want to make sure that we're fed and that everything's taken care of and that we have a place to live. So I know how terrifying and frustrating and upsetting that can be. So now that I've been able to secure full-time work as a librarian again, I would like to share some of the skills that I've gained over the years in terms of a variety of different ways in which you can search for a job. Serving in a public library for over 7 years, I'm surprised at how many people don't even know how to look for a job other than maybe the local newspaper or even the newspaper's website or even just monsters.com. And so what I would like to do is show you some of the more traditional, maybe less traditional, and definitely non-traditional ways in which you can look for a job. And hopefully this will be helpful to you. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so first, let's go ahead and begin with traditional ways to look for a job. Of course, you have Monster and Indeed.com. Those are fine websites. It's really good. My experience has been kind of varied, where I'll put up my resume and I'll put the type of job that I'm looking for. But sometimes I'll get several leads in my email that have absolutely nothing to do with the field that I specialize in. So if you're not getting any good results with that, you might want to maybe visit an employer in person. Go directly to the company's website. So let's say during the COVID-19 incident, apparently one of the essential jobs was anything to do with grocery stores, the medical field, law enforcement, Home Depot and Lowe's. I noticed that were open. So, try going directly to their website and try to apply for jobs over there. You have the newspaper sites. For example, I've noticed a lot of really good, and as it relates to library jobs, I found a lot of great leads on the Wall Street Journal, WSJ.jobs. You could even try your local newspaper websites, like for here in Florida, it'd be sunsentinel.com or palmbeachpost.com. And then your local career centers. We have something called Workforce or Workforce Alliance. Your local career center should be able to help you in terms of not only helping you prepare a resume, a cover letter, maybe helping you find some leads or establish some new computer skills that you might need, such as using Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint. If they don't, definitely check out your local public library. Chances are they offer at least the basics of those courses. And then, of course, I have the ebooks as well, where you can download them. You can read them on your phone, your tablet. You can download them as PDFs and print them out and just practice on your own. And if you have any questions, of course, you can definitely call me or contact me on my social media pages. Some of the more less traditional sites, and this is just based on my experience. There's no set criteria as far as what's considered traditional versus less traditional. One of them will be usajobs.gov. So anything that you see with an extension with the .gov means it's a government website, so you know that it's legitimate. Chances are they're going to have benefits if it's full-time. Great resource. I've used. I'm only listing resources that I've used myself in this particular video, so I don't want to mislead you as like, yeah, go over there when I know nothing about that. USA Jobs, I've been using them for years and had some really good results with them. County websites. So I live in Palm Beach County, for example. So all you have to do is go on google.com and type in like Palm Beach County website jobs or website and jobs. And you should be able to find the county website and see what positions might be available at that time. Depending on what state where you live, you might still have a hiring freeze going on, but definitely check those out. A lot of times if you create a free account on there, you can have email updates whenever a new position is available. Same thing is true for city websites. Cities and counties are, have different taxing districts, different government entities. And so, definitely if you live in a particular city, type in the name of your city, type the word website and jobs and see what results come up. Governmentjobs.com. I've recently had some really good results with them as it relates to, like, say, library jobs or any government jobs for that matter. It's a free account, and you'll find some legitimate sites, legitimate jobs or leads available. One of the some of the non-traditional things, I know you can't really travel right now, but you could, if you have if you feel comfortable, if you're a native speaker in English, for example, you can teach English online. Or when the COVID-19 social distancing eases up and you're able to travel more, maybe you want to consider teaching overseas. That's something that I did. I taught English in China for a whole year. My original contract was for 9 months, but I missed the deadline for grad school, and they asked me if I could stay for an additional 3 months, so I did. Had one of the best times of my life. One company that I applied for just a few years ago was VIPkid.com. That's where you can teach English online to students that are in China. Now, keep in mind that if you're on the East Coast, for example, of the United States, China is about 12 hours away. And so at the time, I was living in a small apartment, and I didn't want to keep my wife up teaching somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning, because with VIP Kid, you have to be really animated and high energy all the time. And I can only imagine my wife probably would have strangled me if I would have taken that job. Two other options. Let's say if you are willing and able to travel overseas, Disney now offers careers overseas, I believe in Beijing, jobs.disneycareers.com, where you can teach English over there. I think they have some basic requirements, such as having a TESOL certification. I think it's only 1,000 hours, a certificate that you have to have. Some places might want you to have a bachelor's degree, but the basic requirement, you have to be a native English speaker. Another one would be careers.tsol.org. The last time I lived in Los Angeles, I got my TESOL certification for teaching children as well as business English. And so that kind of opens up a variety of different doors if you specialize in those areas. These are some images of when I used to teach English in China. These are some of my kids. Had one of the best times of my life next to getting married. And some of the more non-traditional ways in which you can look for a job would be Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Some of you might be saying, well, everybody knows LinkedIn is for jobs. Well, it's amazing how many people still don't use it. They might even have an account, but they had never even uploaded their resume, their job experience, or even a profile photo. Definitely, maximize the potential of that website. I've recently hired a professional company to not only revise my resume and my cover letter, and they were willing to revise my LinkedIn page as well. And they made me look like a librarian rock star. So, I mean, I definitely recommend, make sure you maximize on that. Instagram is another non-traditional way in which you can look for a job. My brother, for example, he is a professional graphic designer, and he has amazing work. I mean, he shows his own work, but he also shows work that he's done for other clients. And he's generated a following of 20,000 people. And I can't tell you how many freelance jobs he's generated for himself on Instagram. And it's not just for graphic arts designer. If you are an aspiring model, if you're an actor, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a real estate agent, I've seen some real estate agents have a huge amount of followings on there, and they're just showing pictures of the different types of properties that they're selling. So usually like the high-end ones in Palm Beach, Florida, absolutely gorgeous. And I just follow them just because I want to see the properties. Not that I'll ever be able to afford them anytime soon, because they're like $40 million. It's crazy. um, Friends and family and social media. I know this might be a point of pride for some people. They don't want to, put their personal business out there. But if you're in a tough situation and you have several family and friends on social media, especially ones that might live in the area where you live, put it out there to your friends and family. It's like, hey, I'm looking for work. I specialize in this particular field. If you happen to know anybody who's hiring, please, refer them to me. And that way, you also get like a insight in that particular field, because now they know somebody through you. And later on, I'm gonna be talking about my ebook. I just published it last night. It's Job Searching Via Social Media. I want to be able to help as many people as possible. So for a week, I'm going to make that ebook as well as all my other ebooks, Microsoft Word, Excel, email, browser basics, and mousing, all for free for one whole week. I'm only putting it for a week because I want to give you a sense of urgency, because I don't want you. I want you to download this and just hold on to it and then do nothing with it. I really want to see you guys succeed and where where you want to be. This is the ebook I was telling you about, Job Searching Via Social Media, on Smashwords.com. As you can see here on the left-hand corner, I literally just published it last night. It's going to go through, how you can use Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn in order to find, jobs. I'm going to show you how, what kind of keywords, what hashtags you can use. Definitely check that out. I'm going to go ahead and give you the little coupon code, so that way you can go ahead and download that for free. And then finally, why not employ yourself? There's so many different ways, and especially during the time of social distancing, where you can find ways to make money from home. And gosh, I'm sure there's thousands of them, but I'm only listing the ones that I've actually tried and the ones I'm actually currently doing. So I can only speak from experience, so I can give you a little bit of insight. I'm not an expert in everything, but I've been around. Take a look. So one of them is, the first ones is Zazzle.com. I initially used to use that website just to purchase business cards. I didn't realize that you can take your own graphic arts and you can put them on a variety of different products, including business cards, coffee mugs, t-shirts, you name it, and you can sell it. And what's great about Zazzle.com is that once you put your design on there, and let's say you make some sales, you don't have to do any of the fulfillment. They do all the fulfillment for you, and you get a percentage. So you want to make sure you mark it up just enough so that way you have something that's comfortable. Like for Zazzle.com, I'm not going to show you the ones that I sell because they're a little bit tongue-in-cheek and they're not appropriate or even relevant to the brand that I'm using here. But I mark it up 15%. So that way I get, I don't know, I think it's like 50 cents per bumper sticker. And I think I've sold just under 200 so far in the past, I don't know, year and a half. I know it's not a lot and everything, but it's a lot of fun. You really have to find ways to promote it and to push it. So, I mean, that means you need to share it on your Twitter page or Facebook page. Like, hey, check out my bumper stickers, my t-shirts, my coffee mugs, and, get it as a gift. Next one is called Fine Art America, very similar to Zazzle.com in the sense where you can take your own artwork. But this one is mostly for artists, for people that are doing photography, for painting. Again, you can do graphic design, and you could put those particular artworks on a variety of different products. You could put them on prints, you could put them on pillows, you could put them on shower curtains. It's amazing what you can put things on there. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a moment. Alibaba.com. I don't know if you ever heard of this particular website. This is a website where you can find manufacturers from all over the world. A lot of them are from China, but you can get them from Germany, you can get them from the United States, you can get them from Mexico, a variety of different countries. And so if there is a field that you specialize in or a product that you want to sell and you want to put your logo on it, you can contact a manufacturer over there and they'll have like a minimum purchase. So let's say you want to sell kitchen utensils, and you want to put your logo on there. They might require you to buy at least 100 of them, and then you can sell them on eBay, you can sell them on Amazon. A lot of people do that, and they do really well doing that. So give that a try. eBay is everybody's ever has heard of eBay. They say the average person has a few $1,000s in their basement and in their attic that they can sell on eBay. It's amazing what people are willing to buy, especially if it's vintage or an antique or a rare book that nobody has. I've sold lots of silver coins, for example, the Morgan silver dollars, the Mercury dimes. The reason why they sell so quickly is because they're made with 90% silver and I think it's 10% copper. And anything that's an inherent value like those types of coins, they will sell very quickly. For example, before I got married, I wanted to find a creative way to pay for my wife's wedding dress. The one she wanted wasn't terribly expensive, but it was $1,200. And so I found a manufacturer on Alibaba.com that had a certain type of metal detector that everybody wanted. And so I sold it for twice the amount on eBay.com. And not only was I able to get her wedding dress, but we were able to pay off a lot of our credit card debt, which was a really nice bonus. Amazon.com's Createspace. Many of you may or may not have heard of this. Createspace is provides your ability to self-publish your own books, your own ebooks. But the thing is, when I published it back in my first book back in 2011, they required for you to publish on Amazon. They want you to publish through them exclusively for about 30 days. That may have changed. Definitely check to see what their standards are. But be prepared that if you are going to publish on them first, that they want exclusive rights for about 30 days before you publish it anywhere else. Smashwords.com. That's the one I've been mentioning in all my previous websites, previous videos rather. Smashwords is where you can self-publish your own ebooks, which is really nice. And they will distribute to a variety of different companies as well, including Barnes & Noble, Sony, iTunes, Kobo, and what you can do with that is that you can set your own price, but keep in mind that when you promote your ebooks, you want to try to see if you can sell them through Smashwords instead of all those other websites, because Smashwords allows you to keep a larger percentage than Barnes & Noble and iTunes and all those other websites. Teespring.com. You may have seen this, let's say if you have a popular talk show that you watch on YouTube, for example, especially the opinion news sites like the Young Turks, for example, you'll see their t-shirts underneath their videos. And I think YouTube has a requirement. You have to have so many followers before you're allowed to put those advertisements underneath your videos. So keep that in mind. And I'll show you an example of that in just a moment as well. Etsy.com, a really great website if you want to find items that are handmade. I have my own Etsy page. I found, because I work in a library, a lot of people donate books. I found this one dictionary that was over 100 years old. The pages are really old and kind of discolored. I love those kinds of books, but unfortunately you can't normally include that in the collection in any particular library because we need high, fairly new books. You can't have books there that are discolored like that. So what I did, I took that dictionary and I had it cut to 8x10 over at my local FedEx office, and I printed my own artwork on there, and I sell them on Etsy.com. And it's amazing what people are selling on there. Like, for example, during this time of COVID-19, a lot of people are making handmade face masks, and they have everything from sports team to Star Wars. Today I saw a man who had the mouth of a dog over his mouth, and so it looked like he had a dog face. It's amazing what people will make on Etsy.com. My wife specializes in making homemade, natural, organic beauty products, and so she will be selling that on Etsy soon as well. Fiverr.com. I have not sold anything on Fiverr.com, but I have used this website so many times. I think a few hundred times, actually. It's very addicting. Fiverr.com is a website in which people are willing to do a whole slew of different services for only $5. Initially, it was very strict that it had to be $5, but now, depending on the quality of the work, it can be anywhere from $5 all the way up to $100. So if you want the best of the best, it's probably going to cost you a little bit more. So for example, the intro video that I use for all of my videos that has my logo on there, it looks like it's exploding with a little smoke in the water. That was done on Fiverr.com. I paid $10 for that. You can get some really good deals in there. But if you have any of those skills, let's say if you know how to do any graphic design, any video editing, if you know how to write, if you know how to create a website, if you have an accent, and like a British accent, for example, or a French accent, and you're willing to, read something for somebody that they can use for their own videos, you can sell that as a service on Fiverr.com, and you can do it from home. Wiseant.com. I have not personally used this website in order to sell any particular services, but I have gotten my mother signed up to this. She is fluent in Spanish, and she has a degree in art, for example. So on Wiseant, you can tutor people either in their home, or you can do it online. And basically, you tell them what you specialize in and what area you're willing to teach in, and then they will bring you students. The website gets a percentage, and then you get a percentage, and it's just a great way to make some extra income. And then, of course, there's YouTube.com. Can't tell you how many times I'm amazed by these self-made millionaires, usually young people, really young people, they're self-made millionaires just on YouTube, just by playing video games. I mean, I'm amazed at how many kids watch other kids and adults playing video games, but they're self-made millionaires based on sponsorship and based on how many views and the ads that are on their YouTube pages. I was in the checkout lane of Toys R Us before they closed down. I was getting an extension pack for this game called Cards Against Humanity, and they had this magazine of these twin girls, 17 years old, self-made millionaires, and the only thing that they do is they talk about makeup, they talk about clothing, they talk about boys, they have sponsorship, they have a huge following, and they're self-made millionaires within, I think they started when they're 14, and here they are 17. They don't have to go to college if they don't want to, but I believe they are. You probably even know who I'm talking about. Okay, so this is an example of Amazon Createspace. Death of a Gas Guzzler was my very first book. I just wanted the accomplishment of writing, my first book and publishing it. They did require that I go with them exclusively for 30 days. So keep that in mind. Their standards may have changed, but definitely double check with that. Etsy.com, as I mentioned before, on the second option, you'll see that I have some old dictionary pages. I believe the pages are about 100 years old, and I printed my artwork on them and sell them for $10 each. That seems to be like the going rate of what most people are selling their dictionary print work on there. I mentioned Teespring before. You can grab your graphic artwork and you can put it on a variety of different products. Here you see the phone covers, you have coffee mugs, t-shirts, a whole variety of different types of products you can use. I think I just limit it to those three. Then Fine Art America. This is not related to my Louis the Librarian brand, but this is something that I started a few years ago, where I was just doing some photography in special areas here, such as Murakami Museum, the Okehili Nature Center, and then you can take these items and you can put them in a variety of different products as well. Like I said, you can put them on shower curtains, you can put them on pillows, you can sell them as prints, on coffee mugs. It's amazing. So that's basically it. So between traditional, non-traditional, and employing yourself, I hope these different ways to find a job are helpful to you. Please take advantage of that coupon that I was mentioning to you, and download all of my ebooks for a whole week. Share it with everybody. Download it as often, as much as you can. I want to see you succeed. I know how frustrating it is to be without work. Hopefully this will help empower you, so that way you can feel like, you take charge of your own destiny, make sure that your bills are paid, your family's taken care of, and that you are fed. If you have any questions, just as before, please contact me on my social media pages. I am more than happy to help you in any way that I can. Until then, stay strong. We're going to get through this together, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.